I'm Bill Smedley. I welcome you to the Waterford and to the garden tour. We're going to be filming a set of pictures and views of our campus and all the beautiful plants and flowers that we have here. With me is Lydia Patterson. Lydia and I both are involved with the maintenance and security committee here at the Waterford, and part of our joy is to work with the landscaping group. So this day we're going to be talking about the plants we have, the plants that are blooming. We're going to talk about the commercial names for the plants and the plants, some of the habits of the plants. We're going to move through the campus and introduce you to a whole variety of plantings. But first, Lydia is going to comment on the planting right here at the front door at the Waterford.
As we continue, we're now in front of our main building, and we have the beautiful plants that you are seeing, which are the begonias and the schefflerias. And the begonias, by the way, have different additional name, such as the Lizzie Bizzies. So I'm pleased that you've joined us this morning.
As you enter the campus, there are three plantings I wanted to comment upon. One was the royal palms, among many palms that we have on the entire campus, but the royal palms are very special and right there along the tower. Next, I wanted to comment about the oak trees that are along the Universe Boulevard. There really are two varieties. There's a live oak and also there's a laurel oak. And the live oaks are much preferred over the laurels because the laurels have a shallow root system and don't do well in hurricanes. The other item I wanted to point to was the peanuts, the perennial peanut plants that are planted by the entry fountain. They're actually an edible blossom, but they're not edible fruit. They have the very beautiful little small yellow flowers. They're fairly insignificant, but it makes a very good ground cover. These are the blossoms of the jasmine, sometimes called the pinwheel jasmine or star jasmine. It's all along the front entrance to the property along Universe Boulevard. In the springtime, it's beautiful, fragrant, and enjoyable to see. Right now, these blossoms are towards the end, but it's been a prolific bloomer, and we enjoy seeing it. This is a bottle brush at our front entrance. It's a unique plant, and it's called a bottle brush because of the flower, which looks like a bottle brush. Interesting plant, very decorative, and a joy to be with, to see. These are copperleafs. They're prolific. They're all over the campus and in the neighborhood. They come in red and various shades of yellow, orange. They're easy to maintain. They can be groomed, made into hedge, but they're decorative and very popular. Sometimes they're called Jacob's coat. These are pentas. They're common to South Africa, but they're very prolific in this area, and of course we have dozens planted around our campus. The ones we have on the campus are pink and white, but they'd also come in red, purple, and variations thereof. Beautiful, great opportunity to have fresh color during the seasonal program. By the front entrance, we have the dwarf pygmy palms. They're a low-growing palm tree. They're from South Africa by background. They're called robelinas officially and formally. And behind them, the hedge you see is the podocarpus, very decorative, and it can be shaped and formed into hedges and or decorative plants. Beneath the podocarpus are the yellow portulacas. They're the ones that bloom during the day. At night they close down for the night. They're an annual and make a very attractive ground cover. Here we have an oleander tree or shrub. It comes in white and pink and red. It's commonly planted along the roadways out in the California western area. I was told when I lived in California, do not take a stem or a twig from the oleander tree to grill your hot dog over the open fire. It has a poisonous condition. This is called a firecracker bush. It's unique in it has a cluster of orange colored blossoms. It looks like a hummingbird would use that as a feeding station. They're orange in color, and it's oftentimes called a hummingbird tree. Not to be confused with a Jatropha, which is a similar looking plant, but it has a single red blossom in small clusters. Both are beautiful, but they can be confused because they're similar in appearance. There are several examples here of hibiscus. They come in various colors and various textures and various sizes. Sometimes they're hard to grow. They have a shallow root system and tend to not do well when the heavy winds. Probably the most common color is orange. The orange ones seem to be the hardiest, and they kind of a double blossom. Shown here we have three different ones, the pink, the white, and they're prolific throughout our campus. Sometimes they're hard to maintain. They say they have shallow roots and they can blow over quickly, and they tend to grow rather rapidly, but they're a handsome addition to practically all properties here in the Palm Beach area. Bromeliads, one of my favorite plants. They come in all sizes, shapes, and colorations. Some grow in the shaded areas. This particular one grows in some sun. The lighter the color or green of the leaf, the more protected they need to be from sun. They come in all colors, sizes, the blossoms. They're prolific, they multiply, and they're a handsome addition to the landscape. The red ones are particularly spectacular, but they come in oranges, colors, and pinks and various shades. Pictured here is a ruello. It's also commonly known by some folks as a Mexican petunia. It has a kind of petunia blossom. This is not one of my favorite plants. Although it's pretty in a group planting, they send out runners and they will actually consume your garden, and they're hard to get out and hard to get rid of. But if you have a cluster, they're very pretty, and but just mind yourself that don't let them get control, because they'll outdo you. This is a cluster of flax lily. Why it's called a flax and a lily, I'm not too sure. It has nothing to do with the flax plant from which linen comes. This has a very small, insignificant flower. The plant also apparently comes in blue, which I've never seen that variety. We have a lot of these around the campus. They're very hardy, and they do spread. Not to be confused with the lirariope. Lirariope is a green grass, if you will, comes in various sizes. It has a small blue flower, but it's prolific and is considered a ground cover. Pictured here is the crinum lily. It comes in white, and it's called a spider lily, but also it comes in pink and various shades of red. It likes a moist area, and it's a very visible, attractive plant, although it's large and hard to manage, but it is very attractive and unusual. Alongside of the auditorium, under the shaded area, is the spathiphyllum, or the peace lily. It's the white flower there in the background. It grows handsomely in bad conditions, and such is the growing conditions there by the auditorium. In the center is the lady palm, another shaded area plant, and with it comes another plant that's very easy to grow and handle. It's called the ZZ plant. It's a waxy leafed plant, and you can't kill it. It's great for any kind of household that has difficulty growing indoor plants. This is a beautiful example of an ixora. That's Ixora, a very peculiar name. It's one of a variety of maybe 562 species that we know of, and it grows pretty much around the world. It comes in dwarf, it comes in larger leaf size. Sometimes they're yellow and sometimes they're orange, but they're prolific bloomers, and they're very popular because they're so colorful and so easy to grow and so easy to manage. Throughout our campus, we have lots of Thai plants. They're from Thailand and Hawaii. Typically, they're red to pink to dark shades of red, and they're prolific, and they can be easily grown and are typical to the southern climate. They're easy to root and can be maintained easily and easily controlled. Pictured climbing the tree is a philodendron. Everybody knows what philodendron plants are. They're very common. They come in all sizes, shapes, and configurations. This one is growing up a tree in back of the gardens. It's very interesting. and easy to handle, and it's climbing a tree, but you'll find them throughout all tropical jungle areas. Growing here is our southern magnolia tree. It's a typical symbol of the South. Historically, the tree has been around virtually forever, and it's interesting that it's called a southern magnolia because it really is a worldwide magnolia. And interesting also, it's named for a Frenchman whose name is Pierre Mangot. Mangot, I guess it's pronounced. Beautiful tree, great green foliage, and lovely white ivory blossoms. This is a plumeria. You've been to Hawaii and received a lei. These blossoms are used to make those leis. So it's popularly known around the world because of the leis that you pick up when you go to the islands. The plumeria is also called fragipani, and the fragipani comes and the plumeria, they come in various shades of pink and white. They're aromatic and they're beautiful trees, beautiful blossoms. The trees they're deciduous and they look pretty shabby and wimpy during the winter season, but the blossoms are fragrant and beautiful. Pictured here is Villa 10. Villa 10 is by Janet and Ken Nielsen. I chose this particularly because it shows what individual people can do to decorate and plant their front yards. They have a variety of plantings here, and you notice these snake plants. They have tubs of 2 snake plants there. The tree you see there looks rather wimpy. It's a swamp cypress. There were 2. One didn't make it. It's an interesting tree. You see it commonly through Florida in the swamps, and it has a unique ability to survive and do well in really wet areas. It sends up knees, like roots that come up alongside of it, and they nurture the tree with oxygen. It's very unique and very interesting. You'll see it, you go through the Everglades, you see lots of them, and they make wonderful, wonderful plants. In the cluster of palm trees in the background is a pongam tree. It's unique. It comes originally from Australia and the Asia area. It has a ability to produce an oil that is very therapeutic. They claim that it will cure practically anything that bothers you. So this funky tree provides a very therapeutic opportunity. As we come to the close of our video tour of the gardens, it would be appropriate to end with a picture of the bougainvillea that is so attractive in our courtyard, particularly the handsome blossoms of the bougainvillea, and they're so prolific in color. And the oranges and the reds and the yellows and the whites, they're a real joy. Also, it would be appropriate to really thank several people for helping us with the tour, particularly Ken Craig, who's been attentive and doing a lot of hard work in filming and putting this together for us. So we thank you, Ken, very much for your help. And also to thank the Property Works for all the good work that the gardeners do to keep our campus attractive, beautiful, and in great shape. So thanks, farewell, and we'll look forward to doing this again sometime.